Have you ever seen a Bugatti and wondered what it would be like to own one? The W16 engine that this car carries is a true masterpiece, a symbol of extreme power and wealth. But what if that luxury came with a hidden, astonishing cost? Today, we're diving into the dark side of this incredible machine, where a simple tune-up costs more than a family car. So what happens when this dream machine breaks down and the repair bill makes the initial price tag look cheap? Stay with us and let's find out why this magnificent engine was simply too expensive to fix. Make sure to like and subscribe for more amazing stories. First of all, let's talk about numbers that almost don't make sense. The Bugatti W16 is more like a mechanical masterpiece than just a car engine. At first sight, the numbers look incredible, with around 1,479 horsepower from its 8.0-liter quad-turbo design, letting the Chiron hit 100 kilometers per hour in just over 2 seconds. But those crazy performance stats are just the start of why this thing is a nightmare to fix. Unlike a regular engine, the W16 is basically two powerful engines joined together, with 16 cylinders, 64 valves, and 4 turbos, all packed into a surprisingly small space. Every single piece is custom-made and hand-built by experts at Bugatti's workshop. You can't just go online and order a part. They have to specially make it for you. This means a little problem, like a tiny failure with a turbo, can quickly turn into a massive engine removal and rebuild. The engine itself is super heavy, weighing around 400 kilograms, which is almost as much as the whole front end of a small car. Getting it in and out and tuning it just right needs a team of highly trained Bugatti technicians and lots of special tools. All that work and customization costs a fortune. Reports say that a full engine replacement can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, and even a single part can cost more than a luxury apartment. At this level, you're not just fixing a car, you're maintaining a one-of-a-kind piece of art that's built to handle forces most engines could only dream of. That's why fixing a Bugatti feels more like buying a whole new car. Let's talk about the real cost of owning a Bugatti Chiron, because the price tag for the car itself is just the beginning. The service bills that come after are on another level entirely. Even a basic oil change isn't simple. It can cost around $25,000. This is because it's a huge job that involves taking apart parts of the car and dealing with all 16 drain plugs, along with special filters and seals. But serious repairs? That's where things get truly insane. If the massive W16 engine needs to be replaced, it could set you back over $850,000. That's enough to buy a whole new hypercar from a different company. And even smaller problems can add up fast. A single turbocharger replacement can cost between $20,000 and $40,000, and the engine has 4 of them. A new transmission to handle all that power? That's more than $120,000. This isn't work you can take to just any mechanic. These cars must be repaired by certified Bugatti technicians, who are often flown in specifically for the job. Parts are extremely rare because Bugatti only makes a small number of these cars each year, and every part is basically custom-made, so you can't just find spares on a shelf. In short, when you buy a Bugatti and want to drive it fast, you're also signing up for running costs that could buy you a small fleet of luxury cars. The Chiron's W16 engine is not only expensive to build, but also ridiculously expensive to maintain. Even the simple things on a Bugatti Chiron's W16 engine are anything but. A fact owners learn quickly. Take spark plugs, for example. A normal car might have 4 or 6, but the Chiron needs 16, all of them specially designed for the extreme pressures of its quad-turbo engine. Changing them is an all-day job for expert technicians because of how tightly everything is packed. The cooling system is also on another level entirely. A regular car holds a few liters of coolant, but the W16 needs over 40 liters of a special mix to keep from overheating at high speeds. Even the tires are a major expense. The special Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s are built to handle speeds over 260 miles per hour, and a set can cost $40,000, not including the mounting, which can require sending the wheels back to the factory for special inspection. And then there's the oil change, which is a big deal on the W16. The engine uses a special dry sump system with 16 liters of oil. A service requires a partial tear down of the car, inspecting every gasket and seal, and reassembling everything with exact specialized tools. So, When a Bugatti owner talks about routine service, they mean something that would look like major surgery on a normal car. It's never quick, it's never easy, and it's certainly never cheap. Every basic maintenance task is a clear reminder that the W16 operates in a completely different world from a standard car. So if your W16 ever needs real work, you can forget about taking it to your local exotic car shop. Bugatti's engine isn't just rare, it's locked down by the brand itself. Repairs and overhauls are done almost exclusively at Bugatti's headquarters in Molsheim, France, or through a tiny network of factory-certified service centers. And when they say factory certified, they mean it. Technicians go through years of specialized training just to touch the Chiron's internals. So how exclusive is this? Bugatti has a flying doctor team, a group of engineers who literally travel worldwide to service cars on site. They carry custom diagnostic equipment and precision tools that don't exist outside Bugatti. Imagine needing a personal surgeon who only works on one patient type. That's the W16. Even transporting the car for a major repair isn't normal. Owners sometimes ship their Chiron across continents back to France for engine work. That means insured transport, special containers, and six-figure logistics bills before the wrench even turns. And here's the kicker. Because Bugatti only produced about 500 Chirons total, with even fewer engine variants, there are no third-party shops stocking spares or cutting corners. If you want a new crankshaft or intercooler, you're waiting for Bugatti to handcraft one, test it, and sign it off. Think you can hack your way around the system? Not with a Bugatti. The W16 isn't just expensive, it's exclusive. If it breaks, you're at the mercy of the brand itself, and they decide when, where, and how it gets fixed. What makes the Bugatti W16 so terrifyingly expensive to fix isn't just the power it produces, it's how it's built. This isn't an engine you can lift out with a crane and tear down in a weekend. The W16 is essentially two V8s fused together, tightly packed into a carbon fiber monocoque with almost no room to breathe. Every inch of space is used, which means reaching even one component often requires dismantling half the car. Let's start with the cooling system. The W16 doesn't just have a radiator, it has 10 separate radiators working together. Each one is linked by a maze of hoses and lines that need to be drained, inspected, and reassembled with exact tolerances. Miss one connection, and you're staring at catastrophic overheating when the engine is asked to deliver 1,500 PS. Then there's the turbo layout. 4 turbos, each with intercoolers, are mounted in a staggered setup to eliminate lag. But the flip side is that servicing a single turbo often requires stripping down layers of the intake, exhaust manifolds, and electronics before you even see the unit. And since they're all pressure matched, replacing one usually means testing or recalibrating all 4. The dry sump oiling system is another beast. It uses 16 liters of synthetic oil spread through multiple tanks and lines to keep the W16 lubricated under 2+G cornering forces. Flushing, refilling, and balancing that system isn't just time-consuming, it requires specialized equipment only Bugatti provides. And don't forget electronics. The Chiron's ECU doesn't just control fuel injection, it manages torque vectoring, turbo spool, and even cooling cycles. A single software miscalibration after repairs can destabilize the whole system. So when something breaks, it's never just a repair. It's surgery on a machine where every piece is connected, every system depends on another, and every mistake costs a fortune. And here's something most people don't realize. The hardest part of fixing a Bugatti Chiron's W16 isn't always the repair itself. It's just getting the engine out. Unlike most cars where an engine drop is a few hours of work, the Chiron demands a full-scale operation that can take nearly a week. Why? Because the W16 isn't sitting in a roomy bay. It's crammed into a carbon fiber tub surrounded by titanium exhausts, intricate cooling pipes, and delicate electronics. One wrong move, and you're damaging components that cost as much as an entire luxury sedan. To remove the W16, Bugatti techs need to strip away the rear bodywork, detach multiple subframes, disconnect the gearbox, and carefully unthread over 100 connections. The process is so complex that technicians use custom-built rigs and stands, tools designed specifically for this engine. Even the mounting bolts aren't standard. They're custom machined to handle torque levels regular fasteners would shear under. And here's the kicker. Once the engine is out, it can't simply be reinstalled. Bugatti requires every engine removal to be followed by an extensive series of tests. That means recalibrating the turbo systems, running heat cycles, and conducting bench simulations to ensure the W16 is performing exactly as it did before. These tests can run for days, all while the car is hooked up to diagnostic machines worth millions. Think the bill stops there? Not a chance. The logistics of transporting and handling the engine add another layer of cost. Remember, the W16 weighs around 400 kilograms, so moving it requires cranes, reinforced stands, and insured shipping if it's headed back to France. So before any actual repair even begins, you're staring at costs that already rival major supercar services. And that's just step one. The Bugatti Chiron's W16 engine doesn't just create raw numbers. It creates a level of stress on components that no normal car will ever face. Running at 1,500 PS and 1,600 Nm of torque, this engine pushes its parts to the absolute limits. That's why maintenance isn't optional, it's survival. Bugatti itself recommends annual servicing, and the figures are jaw-dropping. Routine checks can cost anywhere between $30,000 and $50,000, depending on what needs replacing. Take the fuel system. At top speeds, the Chiron gulps down 60,000 liters of air and nearly 1.5 liters of fuel per minute. That kind of demand means injectors, pumps, and filters work under pressures far beyond everyday cars. Servicing them involves not just replacement, but recalibration to ensure fuel delivery is perfectly synchronized with the quad turbos. Then there's the gearbox. The Chiron's 7-speed dual-clutch transmission is specifically engineered to handle forces that would shred a standard supercar gearbox. Routine inspection includes checking fluid levels that cost thousands per change, along with clutch wear that can add tens of thousands more to the bill. And when replacement is needed, owners are staring at $120,000 or more. Even brake servicing is in another universe. The Chiron uses carbon silicon carbide rotors, some of the largest ever fitted to a road car. A new set can run upwards of $50,000, not including pads. And because they're tied to the car's active aero and ABS systems, recalibration after installation is a must. So when Bugatti says maintenance, they don't mean an oil swap and tire rotation. They mean inspecting a machine that operates like a Formula One car, but is expected to survive street use. The cost reflects exactly that. Hypercar performance equals hypercar upkeep. If you think paying for labor is bad, wait until you see what Bugatti's replacement parts cost. Every single component of the Chiron's W16 is handcrafted, tested, and often made in micro quantities. That means you're not ordering from a warehouse. You're basically commissioning a bespoke part. And those prices? They're staggering. Take the turbochargers. The Chiron uses 4 turbos, specially engineered to deliver seamless power without lag. Each one can cost upwards of $25,000 to $40,000, and replacing a set can mean well over $150,000 before labor. Need new intercoolers? They're custom-built aluminum units that can run $10,000 or more each. Even small parts like gaskets or seals aren't cheap, because they're designed to withstand extreme pressures at 400 kilometers per hour. Then there's the exhaust system. The titanium exhaust with quad outlets and heat-resistant shielding isn't just flashy, it's functional. A replacement system has been reported at over $40,000, and fitting it requires stripping the rear of the car. The same goes for the massive cooling network. With 10 radiators, a failure in one doesn't mean swapping it out like on a normal car. Replacements can cost tens of thousands, especially when Bugatti insists on full system recalibration. And here's the big one, the crankshaft. A Chiron crankshaft isn't a piece you'll find on a shelf. Each is milled and balanced to exact tolerances, capable of handling forces no other road car engine sees. Price? Estimates run into the 6-figure range if one fails. So even if you never blow the entire W16, individual parts can still ruin your bank account. The sheer rarity, precision, and exclusivity make every component a financial bomb waiting to go off. And here's something most people overlook. The Bugatti Chiron's W16 doesn't just scare owners. It terrifies insurance companies. Why? Because any claim involving that engine can skyrocket into record-breaking payouts. Even a low-speed accident that damages cooling lines, exhausts, or turbo components can easily run into six figures before repairs are complete. That's why annual insurance premiums for a Chiron often range from $50,000 to $100,000 depending on the owner's location and driving history. Think about it. Insurers calculate risk by asking, what's the worst-case scenario? With the W16, worst case isn't just a dented bumper, it's a $500,000 engine teardown. And since most Chirons are driven by ultra-wealthy owners in high-profile settings, the risk of costly claims, whether mechanical or accident-related, is much higher than on any normal car. Even routine maintenance ties into insurance. For example, tires must be replaced regularly due to speed ratings, and a full set costs around $40,000. Some insurers demand proof of service at Bugatti-certified centers to maintain coverage, which means owners can't cut corners. And when those service invoices climb into the hundreds of thousands, insurers adjust premiums accordingly. Another factor? Replacement value. With only 500 Chirons ever built, replacement costs are astronomical. If an engine is declared a total loss, the payout could approach several million dollars once labor, logistics, and testing are factored in. So while many people see insurance as an afterthought, for a Bugatti owner, it's a constant reminder. One mistake, one failure, or one unlucky moment could cost more than a mansion. And that fear alone keeps premiums sky high. At first glance, buying a Bugatti Chiron seems like the ultimate flex. A $3 million hypercar with a W16 that rewrites the laws of physics. But here's the truth. The purchase price is just the beginning. The real financial challenge lies in keeping that monster alive. Experts estimate that 10 years of ownership can cost over $1 million in servicing alone, and that's without factoring in major failures. Why so high? Because everything tied to the W16 comes at stratospheric prices. Oil changes at $25,000, tires at $40,000, brake rotors at $50,000, and gearboxes over $120,000. It's a maintenance schedule that reads more like an aircraft than a road car. And unlike mass-produced engines, the W16 isn't supported by aftermarket suppliers. Every part, from spark plugs to intercoolers, has to come directly from Bugatti. Depreciation doesn't even save you. While Chirons tend to hold value better than most cars, the running costs scare off many potential second-hand buyers. That means if you can't stomach the upkeep, you'll struggle to sell without taking a massive hit. Add to that the fact that even shipping the car for service can cost tens of thousands. And suddenly, the cost of ownership starts to look like a second supercar. In the end, well, the Bugatti Chiron's W16 isn't just an engine. It's a statement, a masterpiece that pushed performance into another universe. But as we've seen, the price of maintaining that monster is just as extreme as its top speed. From $25,000 oil changes to six-figure part replacements, the W16 proved one thing. Owning it is a privilege reserved for the boldest wallets on Earth. So what do you think? Is the Chiron's W16 the greatest engine ever built or the most impractical? Drop your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications for more stories of machines that change the game.